Everyone for being here today for this virtual bill signing and press conference. I'm joined today by Bill Hornbuckle from MGM, Gioconda Arguello Klein, Secretary Treasurer of the Culinary Workers Local Union 226, and Irma Fernandez, the daughter of Adolfo Fernandez, the utility porter on the Strip who passed away from COVID-19. Thank you, Irma, for joining us today and for fighting to make sure that your father's voice is not forgotten. I also want to thank the legislators, including Nevada Senate Assembly Speaker Jason Frierson and Senate Majority Leader Nicole Cannizzaro for all of their hard work to get this bill passed with bipartisan support during the 32nd special session, which concluded last week. I want to be blunt. Nevada's economic crisis caused by the COVID-19 health crisis is real and it is significant. The situation we now face was previously unimaginable, but it's our reality. As your governor, I knew it was my job to do everything in my power, working with business, workers, and elected leaders to find solutions. Unprecedented times call for extraordinary measures. This bill isn't about economic expansion. It's about our state's economic survival. It's about acknowledging that Nevada relies heavily on a single industry, the hospitality industry. And in order to make it through this historic storm, we must ensure that that industry survives. But it's not just about protecting the businesses. It's also about protecting the workers that keep this industry in our economy running. As we know, no other state in the country is as dependent on the travel and tourism industry as Nevada. Our conventions and the 42 million visitors we welcome each year drive our economic engine. We also know that the COVID-19 global pandemic brought tourism to a standstill, creating an all-consuming economic crisis in our state, in addition to the public health crisis. What happened when our largest industry came to a standstill as a result of the pandemic? Well, we face a historic budget shortfall of $1.2 billion, resulting in significant cuts to critical services and programs that Nevadans rely on. Our unemployment numbers show that the accommodations and food service industry, a measure of our travel and tourism industry, was hit the hardest by far, down 130,000 jobs year over year in April and May. 130,000 jobs. The list goes on and serves as proof that Nevada's travel and tourism employees are absolutely critical to our economy and our economy's survival. Without them, our hotels and resorts are absent of the hospitality component that makes Nevada one of the top tourism destinations in the world. As we begin the process of our economic recovery, these worker protections will help them feel safer on the job. Senate Bill 4 is first in the nation legislation that will institute important worker protections in the hospitality industry. Protections that were the culmination of months of one-on-one conversations that the Culinary Union has had with its workers, its members. Protections that reflect the great work that can be achieved when the industry and workers get together. Protections that will ultimately benefit our communities and our entire state. These additional protections also send a powerful message to our visitors that they can take advantage of all the wonderful amenities that our state has to offer in a safe environment, all thanks to these increased health and safety standards. Additionally, to ensure that these workers have jobs to go to every day, the bill also helps protect our businesses in the industry from unwarranted harm. As long as they substantially follow these health and safety standards. Finally, this bill not only protects Nevadans who work in the hospitality industry and those who manage the industry, but it helps Nevada businesses as a whole. That's another reason why I'm proud to sign this piece of legislation today. I want to acknowledge all the small businesses that have also been struggling due to COVID-19, who are also our key to our economic survival. This bill protects small businesses from frivolous litigation as long as the businesses are following the state's directives and the health and safety protocols in place. I appreciate the support and work of the Vegas Chamber in these efforts to ensure Nevada's businesses are protected. And before I sign the bill and turn it over to other speakers for remarks, I want to be clear. This legislation does not provide total immunity to all businesses under all circumstances. Far from it. Those inevitable bad actors that have ignored and continue to ignore our state's directives and published health and safety protocols will not be protected from liability for those failures. Those bad actors will continue to face legal consequences. This legislation does not create an impenetrable shield for businesses who fail to protect their employees, their customers, and their visitors, and most importantly, all hardworking Nevadans. At this time, I will sign the bill, Senate Bill number 4. It's official. Now I'd like to turn it over to Gioconda Arguello-Klein, Secretary-Treasurer of the Culinary Workers Union Local 226. Then we'll hear from Bill Hornbuckle from MGM and Irma Fernandez, the daughter of Adolfo Fernandez, a utility porter on the Strip, who passed away from COVID-19. Gio, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Governor. Good afternoon. Thank you to all the members of the media for being here today. Thank you to the Majority Leader, Nicole Canizaro. Thank you to the Speaker, Jason Frierson, and to all the legislators. Thank you for hearing the needs of all the hospitality workers and pass the bill, Adolfo Fernandez bill, SB4. Thank you so much. And thank you to the governor for his leadership in signing this bill today. This bill will protect 280,000 workers, hospitality workers. With this law, we have the protections. And the Culinary Union know this crisis, how terrible crisis is being in the members and their families. It's being a very painful situation. I speak with these members every day. And not only I speak with the members every day, my daughter, she's a nurse in ICU. And I know how difficult the situation it is for right now, this pandemic. It's been very painful situation for the members. We have 35 members pass away and some of the immediately family. We have over 300 have been in the hospital. And we continue to talking to them and explaining to them. We work really hard to try to have this protection. For the last 5 months, we completely focused on how we're gonna protect the health of the workers who come into work and how we're gonna protect their families too. We did 2 caravans on the Strip. We have thousands of conversations with the workers. We had testimonies in the Gaming Commission, and we really are focusing to working with experts to see what is going to be the best health safety protection for the workers. And that's what we've been doing in the last 5 months. And today, when we see this law is being signed by the governor, and we know we're going to have 280,000 workers, we feel very, very proud because this is something these workers, they need. And this is the majority of these workers, they are no union. I want people to realize that. The Culinary Union, we represent 60,000, but the one they're going to be protected is 280,000. But if you put their families behind them, you're gonna see close to 1 million people in this valley, you know, in the Clark County and Reno, because every family could have 2 or 3 members in their families. That's why our focus was completely and do these protections. And they're gonna protect, this law gonna protect porters, kitchen workers, cooks, guest room attendant, bellmans, bartenders, and people who we not represent. You know, they're gonna be warehouse, security guards, retail workers, dealers, everybody who working in the industry. It's gonna be protecting people who work in big places, in big, beautiful buildings, and gonna be protecting people who work in the Motel 6. That's why we feel really, really proud about this, because it's the first time in the nation we have a legislation who will protect hospitality workers and the hospitality industry. And it's something behind this is the families behind who are going to be protecting. While we are having this bill, you know, we have in this bill improve the cleaning process, such as a daily room cleaning, social distance, how we're gonna do the free testing before the workers back to work, or do the testing to people who've been exposed to the COVID-19. Pay time off to the workers who they got positive, you know, for the testing and the time they had to be in quarantine. Temperature checks for the workers. They're gonna have 14 days, you know, if they going to be sick. They tell plans of action for the worker who contact another person with COVID-19. We feel like the safety training for all the employees, and it's going to be a law like the governor say. It's people that don't do the right thing, it's going to be, you know, going to have to be compliant with the law. We feel really, really proud, really, really proud, and we want to say thank you, you know, to everybody who's supporting this bill, because when the workers in the hospitality industry and their families okay, our community is okay, everybody is okay, and the people who come to Las Vegas are going to be okay. And we feel really proud for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gia, for your remarks. I appreciate it. This time, I'd like to ask Bill Hornbuckle from MGM Resorts to speak, have a few remarks. Bill.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you, Gio, for both your leadership and your partnership through all of this. And Irma, we commend your bravery and your help today, truly inspirational, and I know your father hopefully would feel the same. I'd like to thank Governor Sisolak for his leadership throughout this crisis and to bringing all of us together to make this legislation a reality. Nevada has proven that it is possible to protect employees, business, and our economy while also holding bad actors and irresponsible businesses accountable. I truly hope Washington takes notice as they debate these same issues at a national level, because this type of legislation is clearly needed, not only in states like Nevada, but throughout the country. As Nevada's largest private employer, MGM is proud to partner with the governor and legislative leaderships and the culinary union to protect workers and to continue our economy's recovery. MGM has had a long, productive relationship with the union, and our partnership is more important than ever in the wake of COVID-19. We all see the health and safety of our employees, our guests, and our communities as our top priority. We want economic recovery and the return of more employees to the workforce. And we agree, sick employees, exposed guests, and the possibility of future closures and economic devastation are in no one's best interests. With this legislation, Nevada managed to score a win-win that both protects workers and the public, while also providing protection and certainty to responsible businesses so that the economy can continue growing and desperately needed jobs can be refilled. MGM looks forward to continuing our work with the Culinary Union and the Governor's Office to build upon the progress being made for the good of Nevada workers, businesses, and ultimately the state's economy. Thank you, Governor, again for your leadership. And I think I'll turn it over to Irma, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you, Bill, for your comments. Please, really appreciate that. And I'm now pleased to introduce Irma Fernandez, who will speak to us before we take some questions. Irma, thank you for joining us. We're all very, very proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. My name is Irma Fernandez, and I am the daughter of Adolfo Fernandez. My dad was an amazing, hardworking man, and he worked as a utility porter for 18 years. We are heartbroken that he passed away on June 24th due to COVID. My dad was active in his union, and he always fought for justice, and not only for himself, but for everyone. The last week of his life, he was very sick. And even though he didn't feel very well, he was still thinking about his coworkers and was trying to fight for stronger safety guidelines for everyone. My family and I are honored to have this bill signed into law today in honor of him. I wish he was here to witness this. He would be so happy about these new protections. It will help many workers and their families. And I know he would be so, so excited and happy about this new bill. Everyone works hard to provide for their families, and this will provide stronger safety precautions for protections for all casino and hospitality workers. And this is all what my dad asked for. This was his very last wish. All he wanted was for workers to be protected. And even though my dad is in heaven, I know he is in peace now. And I know me and my family are at ease and very grateful, knowing this will protect everyone. And we want to thank everyone who worked very hard to make this bill happen. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Irma. And as a father, I will assure you that your dad is very, very proud of you and is smiling down on you. God bless you. Thank you. At this time, we'll be taking some questions from the media.
Great, thank you. This is Megan Delaney, the Governor's Communications Director. I hope I am loud enough for all of you. Please continue to put your questions in the Q&A, and we'll sort through them that way, and we'll get through as many as we can in the next few minutes. The first question comes from Andrew Davey from Nevada Today. It's a question for the governor. He asks, how does SB4 fit in the state's plan to stop further spread of COVID-19? And do you believe this law protects Nevada's workers?
I believe that this law goes a long, long way as a result of a tremendous amount of compromise that folks had along the way. It increased the standards for all of our hospitality and frontline workers. It'll make it so we can provide assurances for our visitors that are coming here, that they're coming to a place for the first one in the country that puts protocols in place to protect our workers. And that's something I'm very, very proud of. It'll also go a long way towards our other small businesses, not in the hospitality industry, the restaurants and the flower shops and the shoe stores or what it might be, the small family-owned businesses that if they follow the protocols that are set in place, they can avoid any frivolous lawsuits. So I'm confident that this will provide protection, not just for our businesses, but also have the highest standards of worker protection of any state in the country, and I'm extremely proud of that.
Thank you, Governor. The next question comes from Colton Lockhead at the Las Vegas Review-Journal. He says, the bill covers most businesses, governmental entities, and nonprofits in terms of liability protections. Why does it only add additional safety and health measures for hospitality workers as opposed to a wider group of workers?
Colton, I appreciate the question, and I can assure you that this is an issue that we thought long and hard about. The culinary came to me about wanting to put in worker protections for their employees, their members, which I appreciate and I support, coming up with those regulations. I had discussions with both some of our resort partners and the Vegas Chamber of Commerce as it relates to providing some coverage for litigation. It was the result of literally months of compromise between the partners, between the labor groups and the hospitality industry to come up with, as Gio said, specific protocols about what needs to be done, about cleaning a room, about cleaning certain items in the casino. Certain protocols were put in place to protect the workers on a day-to-day basis, and also to protect our visitors that are coming here, that they will know that these protocols are in place. We have the highest standards of any place in the hospitality industry in the country to protect our workers, our citizens, and our guests. And that's why I'm confident that it's a good bill moving forward, and it's the first step in terms of protecting our businesses and our workers.
Thank you, Governor. And the next question is from Eric Jimenez from Telemundo to Irma. Irma, if you are able to put your screen back on, the question is, how do you feel the dream of your father has come true here? Eric was hoping you could talk about that a little bit more.
Well, ever since he was part of the union, he always believed in justice. He always believed that everyone should be treated fairly, protected fairly, because he always had in mind that if he has a family to come home to, every person has a family to come home to. So during the last couple of days, he was just so impatient to get back to work, to get better, and to fight for what's right, because he felt like there needed to be better precaution, better safety guidelines for everyone. So my dad has always been a fighter. He's always been a fighter, always believed in justice, and that's exactly what I try to do every day. And with this new bill, I do feel like my dad would be very proud and very happy that it's getting put into place and officially signed. And I am truly grateful, and me and my family are very at ease, and we know my dad is happy in heaven now.
Irma, it's obvious that you're taking after your father in terms of fighting for what's right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Irma. And I'm sorry, I missed this at the beginning. Would you mind summarizing in Spanish for Telemundo as well?
Okay. Lo que decía era que desde el primer momento que mi papá fue parte de la unión, él siempre peleaba justicia por todos sus compañeros, no solamente por él. Él siempre decía que todos tienen de ser tratados igual, con respeto, y tener más precauciones para todos los empleados en todos los casinos. Mi papá, aunque él estaba bien enfermo, él lo importaba más pelear por justicia y para que tengan más precauciones para los empleados, los trabajadores. Él siempre decía que necesito pelear para tener más protección para nosotros, porque todos tenemos familia. Si yo tengo familia, todos mis compañeros tienen familia, y todas esas familias pueden ser contagiadas con este virus. Entonces, mi papá, él siempre peleaba en vez de preocuparse por su enfermedad, pues él mejor ponía a otra gente enfrente de él, porque así era él. Él siempre pedía por justicia y siempre ponía a los demás enfrente de él, porque así era mi papá. Él era un buen hombre, un buen trabajador, una buena persona.
Gracias.
Thank you, Irma. The next question is for Gio, and Gio, if you could answer in Spanish as well. The question is, how will Culinary Union continue to fight for their members and workers in Nevada?
Lo que nosotros estamos luchando ahorita es para que esta pandemia, esta crisis, se le puedan dar, por ejemplo, todos los elected leaders de aquí de Nevada, todas las necesidades que los trabajadores lleguen a tener durante esta crisis, que ayuden a la comunidad a pasarla, porque ha sido muy dura, ha sido una pandemia que la gente ha sufrido muchísimo con la situación del COVID-19. Ha sido un dolor grande perder a sus familiares, y algunos de ellos perdieron la vida también y se hospitalizaron. Nuestra meta es, durante toda la pandemia, que ellos protejan toda la situación, su salud, sus trabajos, todo lo que ellos han luchado toda una vida, sobre todo la salud, tenerlos protegidos. Hemos estado al frente durante los últimos 5 meses por hacer ese primer paso, que era tener una ley para proteger a los 280,000 personas que trabajan en los casinos de hospitalidad.
Thank you, Gio. I guess that's it for our questions. Is all that we have, but I want to take just one more moment to thank Speaker Frierson and Majority Leader Canizaro for their help on this bill, and everybody that's on this video press conference. We came with a problem and we worked together, and I appreciate you both willing to sit down and work out a compromise that works for everybody. I'm extremely proud of the state of Nevada being the first to have workplace safety regulations in place that will protect not only our citizens and our workers, but the millions of visitors that hopefully will be coming back soon to Las Vegas to help our economy move forward. That shows what happens when you keep talking and you sit down around the table and come up with something that works for everyone. And I thank you all for participating in that and making it happen. Thank you all for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you all again. Thanks, everybody.